What do you want?
I don't know. I just wanna...
Welcome to Episode Echoes. We're continuing our brief recaps of all the episodes of Silo Season 1, breaking down the key moments, twists, and of course, all those hidden clues you might have missed. Today, we're reviewing Episode 3, titled Machines. Also, if you have not caught up to the events of this episode yet, you can watch my brief reviews of the events of the previous episode, and because this review will be describing key plot points and events of Silo Episode 3, a spoiler alert is in place. Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay in the loop when we release new videos. In the beginning of the third episode, Juliette fails to complete her mission of getting to the bottom of the silo to search for the door that George found. Instead, we follow Mayor Jahns as she travels down the stairwell to find Juliette and to try to figure out why Sheriff Becker would nominate her as the next sheriff. Again, why are there no elevators or escalators in a silo that's more than 144 levels deep?
I don't know.
Part of her journey leads her to meet with Juliette's father, who talks about how Juliette had always loved machines from when she was a little girl, and Martha, who suggests that Juliette would make a good sheriff. She finds some time for some good old politicking while at it, stopping for some random meet and greets as well as visiting the nurseries with the newborns. You know, things politicians do for photo ops. When she finally meets Juliette, she's somewhat convinced of her as well. Juliette unsurprisingly turns the job down and only agrees to accept it when she discovers some letters carved into the back of the badge, presumably by Sheriff Becker. The audience does not find out what the word says until the end, where we see truth carved into the sheriff's badge. The rest of the episode is preoccupied with the generator. From the early parts of the episode, we hear that the generator is sick and needs to be repaired. Juliette discusses the repairs with Mayor Jahns, who, despite knowing that the generator would need to be turned off for any repairs to take place, agrees to it. Juliette also agrees to take up the sheriff position only after the generator is fixed. From this point, we follow Juliette and the engineering team as they get to work fixing the generator. And while a large chunk of episode 3 is dedicated to the generator, it's not hard to see a few more themes that start to appear. Firstly, much of the engineering and technical details in the generator scenes are questionable, but they're used to good effect in Juliette's character building. She's portrayed as a brave and daring woman who would put herself at risk for the things and people she cares about, and as someone who would fight for what she believes. Nonetheless, the actual repair scenes are also intense and exciting, in a way that has you feeling like you're a part of the mechanical team trying to repair the monstrous generator which powers the entire silo. Not that most of the people living above would appreciate the hard work that goes into keeping their lights on, like a regular society not appreciating the workers who do the actual hard labour. Next, we are introduced to some power struggles in the silo, from Bernard rejecting Juliette's nomination as sheriff, to Mayor Jahns hesitating to visit Judge Meadows. We can pick up on some alliances and relationships at work in the silo. In the previous episode, Detective Barnes alluded that Judiciary had suggested a couple of patsies as sheriff to make Paul Billings, the man whom they actually wanted to take the position, look better by comparison. In this episode, Sims pays Mayor Jahns a quick visit and casually mentions Paul Billings again as a good choice for the position. Another theme that grows in the episode is that of intrigue, especially with the death of Mayor Jahns. The possibility that she could have been poisoned adds a new layer of discomfort and unease in the atmosphere, especially as they had already had to deal with George's death and Sheriff Becker's cleaning. If you blinked for a second when the generator was being turned off, you would have missed the cafeteria screen flickering to show the outside world as fresh green vegetation rather than the desolate view we've been shown so far. But having already watched the entire episode, this little flash of imagery seems like a blatant attempt at misdirection, as we know for sure that the outside world is still toxic and poisonous. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to Episode Echoes for more TV and movie reviews. I'm always interested in hearing your thoughts, so feel free to share your own take in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.